Hi everyone, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. Today I am doing my first tag in 2 years. I have not done a book tag video since 2019. So today I'm doing the Black Book tag, and it is a bookish scavenger hunt that was set by Jessie. And Jessie from Bowties and Books tagged me specifically. I do feel rather special, I do feel rather lucky, and Jessie called me their beloved. Just saying.
My beloved Gavin.
So there is a list of 19 questions, and I will put them in the description box so that you can do it yourself. And I will also link in Jessie's tag video, original tag video, in the description box as well, so you can check it out. I'm going to try and stick to as much middle grade as I possibly can for this one, mainly because my YA and adult shelves are all stacked, like the books are stacked, so it's going to be a little bit of a faff getting books out. However, my middle grade shelves are ripe for the picking. However, I feel like some of the questions I don't think I've got a middle grade book to fit it for, so I'll have to dive into my YA and adult, which is fine really. I mean, I'll live with it. So I haven't got a list of the books that I'm going to pick for this one, so I'm just going to try and go off on what I have on my shelves and memory. Memory, all alone in the moonlight. I'm no Nicole Scherzinger, but you know, I know I've hit it some kind of key there. Probably the wrong one. Anyway, let's get into it, and I'm not putting this down. I'm going to do this challenge without putting my coffee down as well. Yeah, the first question is a book that has won awards or accolades. And I do remember some of the books that Jessie picked in their video, and I don't really want to do the same. However, I'm already like, I don't know. I'm sure there's like loads that have won awards, but there's definitely loads that have won awards, but I'm trying to remember what has an award thing on the front cover, is what I'm saying. Other Words for Home by Jasmine Walker. That one has a award on, and it is a Newbery on a Book Award. Oh, that's awesome. But I read this one last year. It is, and I read it for Ali Dunn's book club, but it is told in verse, and it is about a girl who's come from Syria with her mother to go to a school in the United States, and her journey as well. Oh god. But this is a gorgeous book. This is an absolutely gorgeous book. So there's Other Words for Home. It's definitely going to be another one. I'm just trying to think. Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kwame Mpolia. So this has actually won the Coretta Scott King Award, and this is a Rick Riordan Presents book, and it's going to be a middle grade monthly book soon. Oh wait, that hasn't been announced yet. It's fine. So this follows a boy called Tristan, and his best friend dies in a car crash, which isn't a spoiler, it tells you this. It's what sets the story in motion, but he has a diary. I'm sure his friend has a diary that he takes, and somebody steals it, so he goes after him, and then Tristan ends up punching a hole in a tree, I think it is, and it opens up to mid-pass, which honestly, it sounds excellent. I cannot wait to read this for middle grade monthly. So the second question is a book with a disabled or neurodivergent character. There's one that I definitely know of because it was one of my favourite books of last year, and I feel like everyone's going to be saying it for this one though, but that is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. But this one just follows Chloe, and she has fibromyalgia. And what that is it's chronic pain. So Chloe's in a lot of pain. Yeah, this is a romance, an adult romance, which I don't often read a lot of, but this one I absolutely loved. So this is my answer for that one. Yeah, the ones I've got middle grade wise are just not written by black authors, so I'm going to have to research that one a lot better. Question number 3 is an author with the first name that begins with M, R, or Z. This is a hard one because a lot of these books have just the last name on the side, not the first name. Rena Barron. Maya and the Rising Dark, and this one follows Maya, and she ends up seeing shadow people. There's this shadow man, and she has to save her neighbourhood pretty much because she's the only person who notices colour bleeding from the world. So Rena Barron, which also means actually I can use a young adult book for this one because I've also read Kingdom of Souls, The Last Witch Doctor by Rena Barron as well, and this one is about a girl who lives in this village, and she is from a long line of witch doctors, but she hasn't gotten her magic yet, and she's really desperate for her magic, but you can trade away your life for some magic, and she ends up doing the unthinkable. I mean, to be fair, I would give away some of my life for a bit of magic. So Rena Barron is one. Oh my god, I'm so hot. I'm hot already. There's one that Jessie also mentioned in their video, and that is, I think for this exact question as well, but it is A Song of Wraths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. And this one I'm not too sure what it's about because I haven't read this one just yet, but it is on my immediate TBR, and it does have these beautiful green sprayed edges. I don't think you have to explain what every book is about on this tag. So this is the one that was like an obvious one from Jessie's video. You know, I'm going to end up kicking myself later because there's going to be something really obvious as well, and I'm just totally missing it. So question number 4 is not set in the UK or the US. Now I do have one in mind that I buddy read with Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe, and I can't tell if it's young adult or middle grade, but I'm considering middle grade. But it's When Life Gives You Mangoes by Karine Gettin, and me and Olivia buddy read this last year, and we absolutely adored it. It had such a fantastic twist in it that was just so well done, and it is set in Jamaica actually, and it's about Clara. And the past summer there was a storm that she was involved in, and she's lost her memory from that summer. And now she's kind of like piecing it together. Don't want to spoil it, but like the revelations of it, it's just like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. So definitely would recommend this one. This has a gorgeous setting as well. The island is just absolutely gorgeous. There's so much sensory description, and it makes you feel like you're there. So I would wholeheartedly recommend. Question number 5 is featuring a queer central romance. And honestly, when I tell you I don't read a lot of romance, I mean I don't read a lot of romance. However, I do have a couple. Oh, one that I read for Read Rate Review last year, Cinderella's Dead by Kaylin Bayron, and this is almost empty. So this one, it is a sapphic romance. It is a Cinderella kind of retelling, but it's set in a world where all the eligible maidens are forced to partner up with the eligible bachelors in this world, and like, oh wait, no, that's a spoiler. Anyway, sorry, not that. Yeah, in the story of Cinderella is something that everybody like aspires to, but our main character, she doesn't want anything to do with it, and she ends up trying to run away from this very like dystopian kind of setting. So this one, it does have sapphic romance in it. But honestly, I don't read romance, really. A couple of the ones that I've read recently were absolutely shit, but they were written by white people, so... Question number 6 is a deceased author, and one springs to mind is Toni Morrison, and she died back in 2019, and when she died, our bookshop, like, it's not the biggest bookshop in the world, but her books just sold out. And we tried to make like displays and tables of her books, but they just sold out. The demand was like incredibly high for her books when she passed away. And this one, Beloved, is about, well, it's set in the 1800s, and it's about a woman who has kind of escaped Kentucky, and her baby daughter has died, and she is now being haunted by her baby daughter. So I really want to do like a reading vlog of Toni Morrison's books near the time of her death, maybe like for like an anniversary of her death kind of thing. Because one of my main priorities this year was to read more literary fiction, and I feel like Toni Morrison is like, honestly, her books are that beautiful that I should be doing a reading vlog for them. So this one is what Toni Morrison is the author I'm picking for this prompt. Next we have a book that can be classified into multiple genres. Okay. I want to try some kind of middle grade now. Oh, Root Magic by Eden Royce. So I read this one last month, and honestly I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite middle grades. And this one is set in the Deep South in the 60s. So this can be counted as like historical, but also rather fantastical as well. Because Jez and Jay are being taught root magic from their uncle, Doc, I believe his name was. And there are like some kind of like supernatural kind of things going on as well, which is just so interesting, so amazing. So this could be historical, it could be fantasy, and really I just wanted to mention this book because I love it so much. I don't think it would fit any other question, so I feel like this is definitely a great one for this question. The next question is a debut novel. Now this is where I think I will thrive. I will thrive so much, so I'm going to give you so many middle grade recommendations that are debut novelists. So Baby Alston, yes, Amari the Night Brothers, one of my favourite books that I can't stop talking about. This does follow Amari, and her brother has gone missing, and she ends up finding a suitcase with an invitation for her to go to the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, and there she kind of trains to be like a junior agent. And that's like the very brief synopsis of it. I genuinely don't think I have to explain the books, but I feel like I want to, especially when it's a debut author, because I absolutely love this so much, but everybody knows that one. So that's one. I mean, I can show you this copy of it as well, and also this copy of it as well. So I actually did an interview with Baby Alston recently, so I will link that in the description box as well, because it was a fantastic interview if you ask me. I'm gonna have like so many ideas for this one, so many. So Take Back the Block. Is this Crystal's first book? Yeah, middle grade debut. Well, this is her middle grade debut, so she must have written other books as well. But Take Back the Block is about a young boy who lives in this very close neighbourhood, but there is a real estate developer who wants to do something with it, so he ends up having to protect his neighbourhood because all the adults are too busy fighting. So this is a really good one as well, and I really want to shout that one out too. I want to do more though. I want more debut. Another one is Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow by Benjamin Dean. This is a Benjamin Dean's debut, and it is about a young boy who ends up discovering that his dad is gay. And that is not a spoiler or anything. That is kind of what this book is about. It's about the young boy's journey into understanding what that means. And again, I did an interview with Benjamin Dean recently as well. And I also have this. I don't know if this gives me brownie points, but I also have this. More debut. Hide and Seeker by Dacre Herman. This one I read last year because of Neeks, and I've mentioned that so many times because I'm so happy about this one. I do believe this was Dacre Herman's debut as well. I'm so sorry if it's wrong, and it's not Dacre Herman's, but I do want to shout it out anyway because I don't think it would fit any other of the questions. But Hide and Seeker is about a hide and seek game gone wrong. There is the legendary seeker, and it's so creepy and so intense. But the main character's best friend goes missing a year before, and then he comes back a year later, and he's a bit different. And it's about the main character's kind of, running away from the seeker, and it's just so good. I have a reading vlog of me reading this in a tent, so do check that out as well. High Rise Mystery by Shauna Jackson as well. This one is a mystery series set in a high-rise apartment block building in Great Britain, and this is, there's a death, and the two main characters, they end up having to try and find out what happened. So Shauna Jackson also has a sequel out, which I can actually use for the next question. Yeah, the next question is a good one too. So let's jump into question number 9, which is a sequel. So the sequel to High Rise Mystery is Mic Drop, and this one again is contemporary mystery, and it just develops. That was a dust. So this does develop the story of Nick and Nova and them kind of being detectives. Even though they are kids, they are doing it better than the adults, you know? So Mic Drop, Shauna Jackson, check her out. What else? Rise of the Jumbies is a good one as well. This one follows from The Jumbies by Tracy Baptiste. And it follows Corinne, and there are like legends about the Jumbies. Oh gosh, the glare on that's terrible, sorry. Tales from Caribbean folklore, and they are there to scare children, like that's what they've been told. So this is a really good series. Read this for Milliqueen Monthly last year. Rise of the Jumbies I thought was better than the first one, so that is the sequel I wanted to pick. I mean, Kingdom of Souls does have a recent sequel come out called Reaper of Souls, I believe. A debut one as well. Isn't the Gilded Ones Namina Fona's debut? It isn't Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. Isn't this one a debut as well? Oh god, I got so many options for the debut author one. Question number 10 is Afrofuturism or speculative fiction. I don't have a lot of speculative fiction, but I do have the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. And one that could work for the sequel one is The Obelisk Gate. I don't have the 3rd one yet, but that is that one. This is such a mess of a video, I'm sorry. This also could have worked for the award-winning one as well, actually. So this one is set on a supercontinent called The Stillness, and every so often there is the 5th season, which is this like catastrophic climate change, and it's like, oh god, sorry, I'm just so out of breath. And did you know that every single book in the series has won the Hugo Award? Like, not just in being nominated for, but actually won. Like, that is a feat that I don't think anybody else has achieved. And honestly, N.K. Jemisin, wow. Oh god. So question number 11 is a book that has received an adaptation. I could go really obvious with this one. I'll just say it. No, I don't really want to say it. Well, Amari and the Night Brothers is getting an adaptation. Did you know that Universal has picked it up? So that is getting a film adaptation. What else do I have? What do I have that could work for this prompt? You know what the thing is though? I'm looking at all the young adult and adult books, and I don't really follow young adult and adult book news. So, hang on. Isn't... I mean, I guess this is a bit of an obvious one as well, a little bit, but not as obvious as the one I was going to go for originally. But Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, isn't this getting a movie adaptation as well? I'm sure I heard something about that. This is getting a movie adaptation. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I'll go with this one as well. But Amari the Night Brothers is getting one, and I'm so excited for that. Like, you have no idea. Me and Baby Alston, you know, my best mate, Baby Alston, we were talking about it in my interview as well. Next is a short story collection. I don't think... The thing is, I don't really read short stories. I got sent this by Jason Reynolds. Oh no, this is poetry. There is a poetry thing. I'm sure there's a poetry one coming up, isn't there? There's a poetry question. There is actually, no, that I can use that one for the next question. Right, a short story collection. I don't really have a lot. Let's have a look. This one was recommended to me by a friend at work, but it is Friday Black by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah. And this one is definitely short. I'm sure this is short stories. Oh yeah, it is, like the short stories. I haven't read this one yet. It's quite short. Get it, short stories, it's quite short. Okay, so this one tackles urgent instances of racism and cultural unrest and explore the many ways we fight for humanity in an unforgiving world. The stories in here are The Finkelstein Five, gives us an unstinting reckoning of the brutal racial prejudice of the US justice system. And then in Zimmerland, we see a far too easy to believe imagining of racism as sport. And Friday Black and How to Sell a Jacket is told by Ice King show the horrors of consumerism and the toll it takes on us all. That actually sounds, this could be like the first short story collection I ever read. Oh, my back. So question number 13 is a book that is told in verse or a work of poetry. Now, I actually have a few for this one, actually, because the one I just picked out there was For Everyone by Jason Reynolds. And this one is just all poetry. So yeah, this is middle grade. So it's got like some kind of like really funky fonts in there as well. Oh, look at that too. Like Jason Reynolds, author of Ghost, and yeah, just like an all-around incredible writer. One that made my top books of 2020 is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. This one is an absolutely gorgeous book about a young teenager's experience of being gay in the UK, and I just related so much to this. There were some references to Little Mix, one of my favourite bands of all time, but also the illustrator and Shika Kula is gender fluid as well. So it's like an all-around fantastic book. I would wholeheartedly recommend it. So much bending down. Now, usually I'm used to that, but not today. Punch in the Air by Ibi Zoboi and Yusuf Salim. This is, again, all told in verse. This is about a young 16-year-old boy called Amal, and he has this altercation with a white boy, and he ends up getting wrongfully convicted of a crime. And Yusuf Salam is a reform activist as well. So, again, another fantastic one for that one. In fact, I've actually had more recommendations for that prompt than I have in quite a few of the other ones, which surprises me. I feel like that's because books that are told in verse are ones that stand out the most. And question number 14 is trans-binary or trans-non-binary character, and there's only really one that I can think of, and that is kind of because it was also in Jesse's video, is Pet by a Quickie Amazing. And this one follows a young black trans girl, and it's set in like this utopian kind of place, and the angels have gotten rid of all of the monsters. However, is that correct? Is that true? Really short but really profound and deep book as well. So I'm using this one. Nothing that I can recall else that I have for this question, which actually disappoints me. So I'm going to research that as well. I do really want to get more trans books, especially since trans women are women, trans men are men, and trans non-binary are valid. So let us get into the next question. So the next question is literature, contemporary or non-fiction, centering a fat individual. And I think the only one I can really think of is Get Like Chloe Brown Again by Talia Hibbert. And this is another question that I need to do better on. I can't think of anything else that I own that would fit this one. Question number 16 is a book about Black Lives Matter or Black Liberation. And I don't want to go for the really obvious one. For Black Liberation, definitely Katherine Johnson, 1783 Freedom. This is about a young boy who escapes slavery in Jamaica. Yep, Jamaica, and goes to London where it's no better. However, there's a group of people fighting for the rights of slaves, and there is this slave ship, and they're trying to get justice for the slaves on board that ship. And Katherine Johnson does a brilliant job, because this is non-fiction, but it's told in like a fictional kind of way. It's the same with Race to the Frozen North, but the Matthew Henson story by Katherine Johnson. And honestly, this is brilliant as well, by the way. It's about the first man to ever reach the North Pole, and he was black, so obviously he didn't get the treatment he deserved when he returned home, and he was just like pretty much snubbed, even though he was the first man to get to the North Pole. So yeah, this one is about getting justice for slaves in 1783. Question number 17 is a silly, kooky, shy, and or nerdy protagonist. Probably High Rise Mystery would also work for that one. Oh, this is one that I haven't mentioned yet. The Moon Within by Ada Salazar. And this one is about a young girl who is coming into she's like becoming a woman, and her best friend is gender fluid, by the way. But yeah, the main character is going to get her period, and her mum wants to perform a moon ritual. But yeah, she has to find like the power to be who she wants to be. So question number 18 is a work of non-fiction, and I only have one option for this because I don't read non-fiction. However, I read this one and absolutely loved it, and that's All Boys on Blue by George M. Johnson. Now, of course, this one was going to come up. Jesse also mentioned this one in their video. Just like reading about it, like it was so eye-opening, and it was just it changed my mind about non-fiction as well. Like, I genuinely want to read more, but this is a memoir, so it just felt so much more personal and raw and real, and it just exposed everything, and exposed sexuality and racism, and it's just a fantastic read. And yeah, this is like the only non-fiction book that I own, really, so yeah, this is a rather special one. And then the last question is an author with a book that's being released soon. And of course, Witches Keep the Gold by Shannon Smart. This one comes out in April, so it isn't out just yet. But this one is about, I mean, I mentioned this briefly before, but this one is about the heir of a throne getting exiled from her own kingdom, and then she ends up kind of joining forces with her sworn enemy, who is the daughter of the person who overthrew her kingdom, the Diane. I can't wait to read it. Like, I'm reading it this month, and it just sounds fantastic. Cannot wait for it to come out. It's gonna look absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, Witches Keep the Gold, this one is coming out soon. I do know as well that, oh god, the book's under all the piles of stuff, but the sequel to Maya and the Rising Dark is called Maya and the Return of the Godlings, I think, and that comes out in November, so that one's coming out soon. Benjamin Dean said he's working on a new book, so that might be coming out soon. The sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers as well, that might be coming out at the start of next year. Oh, Justina Ireland, who wrote Dread Nation, she has a new middle grade book coming out called Ophelia's Ghosts, and that one comes out in August, I want to say. I will correct myself on the screen, but I believe that comes out in August. Ophelia's Ghost is, I believe, is what that one's called, and that's by Justina Ireland. I do actually have a 2021 middle grade release spreadsheet that I'm going to link down below as well, so that you can check it out, and it has a lot of upcoming middle grade releases on. I don't really know about young adult and adult upcoming releases, I don't really follow that, but for middle grade, there's definitely a lot that's coming. I'm just having a hard time remembering. Those were all of the questions. But anyway, that was really fun. Thank you so much, Jessie, for tagging me. I feel honestly so honoured and special that you tagged me in this. And yeah, anybody who wants a turn of doing this, then please do it. I would love to absolutely say it. But make sure that you credit Jessie and also tag them in it, tag me in it, because I want to say it as well. And yeah, that was the end of the video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments if you have any of the answers for these questions and any that I've missed. Maybe you have some really good recommendations that I can check out. But that is the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!